Hi guys, Trailhound here. Been working on some pot stands lately, made out of water bottles. Some DIY pot stands. Wanted to go over them, show you guys these pot stands, and give you a quick demo on how I make them. It's relatively simple. These first two that I made were made out of aluminum water bottles, and it works out just fine. And they're real lightweight, very nice. Only problem is if I were to give this any pressure from the sides in this direction here, it would collapse or it would take whatever new shape I gave it. It wouldn't spring right back. So I switched over to stainless steel water bottles, which are a little bit harder to work with, but the product is much more resilient that you're going to end up with. It's going to spring right back into its shape, and they work out pretty decent here, and you can customize it to whatever height you need. You can see here I got some different heights going on, and we got a cook pot here just to sit on there. You can see it works out pretty nice. They're strong. It'll take a lot of pressure and weight from the top, so it's not like you have to worry about it collapsing on you or anything. Anyway, what we're going to do is a quick demonstration on how you make one. I have a generic stainless steel water bottle here. Just picked it up from the local thrift store. I think I paid 75 cents for this. And most thrift stores have stuff like this for pretty cheap, so it's kind of ideal to use something like this to make one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start out. I'm going to go ahead and strip the paint off, and I just got a wire brush here on a drill, and I'm going to go ahead and strip this off, and then we're going to mark it up, and I'm going to show you how I cut them out. Alright, so I've gone ahead and I've stripped all the paint off the stainless steel water bottle, so we're straight down to the steel now. We're going to go ahead and we're going to mark the can in two spots. We're going to mark the bottom of our pot stand, and we're going to decide what height we want, and we're going to mark the top of the pot stand. And this is the portion where you can customize the pot stand to be whatever height you want. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to mark the bottom of the pot stand. I'm going to mark that at about 1.5 inches from the bottom so that I have some room to mangle the bottom of the can as I'm cutting this portion away. And I want my pot stand to be 2.5 inches tall, this particular pot stand. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mark that. I'm going to add a 2.5 inch piece here, and I'm going to go ahead and mark the top portion of the pot stand. Okay, so after you have your top and your bottom marked, you'll make 6 evenly spaced marks around the bottom portion of the can. Hopefully you can see those. Then you're just going to lay the can down and take like a block of wood or something, and you're just going to follow those lines that you just made all the way up the can like that, and mark those lines through your pot stand portion. You're going to do that for all 6. And then basically measure the top and the bottom corners of the pot stand here, the contact points. That's basically what you're looking at with those marks. And then the easiest way I've found to actually get a good cut that's clean and straight the whole way on each one is to just take some electrical tape, cut a couple strips, and then I run them. Check, hopefully you can see this. I'll just run them from one corner straight to the other, just like that, and cut it off. And I'll do that with each one and then cut it out. After you have everything marked, you're just going to cut it out. I don't have any special way to do this. Stainless steel is hard to work with. You might want to wear gloves. I just go at it with a pair of tin snips. Start by mangling up the bottom, and I just slowly work my way around until I can get a good cut, nice straight cut along both of my top and bottom lines. And I'll be back after I get that, and we'll show you how I cut out these middle sections. Okay, so I have the tops and the bottoms cut off so far, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a hole punch. This is just my particular method, and I'm going to punch a hole right here in where each V is, both on the tops and the bottoms, and then I'll take my tin snips and cut into that hole and remove this section for each one. Now that's just my particular method that I've come up with for the stainless steel. I find that it works a little bit better than trying to take the tin snips all the way down to the corner and then take like a triangle shaped file like this and file that corner into a prettier shape. So I don't mind having the rounded edges, so I actually like the way that looks, and then I actually went ahead and punched a hole at the tops and the bottoms of every portion of the pot stand. Got my holes punched, and what I'll do now is I'll take my tin snips and I'll just run them along this line till I get to that hole and remove this section. Just like that. Okay, so we've made our last cuts, and we have pretty much the rough version of the pot stand just like it is. So we'll go ahead and we're just going to peel all of our tape off here. A little bit of alcohol, take all that Sharpie right off there. Okay, so now I'll take a file and I'll go ahead and I'll just clean up the edges here and get them all nice and smoothed out so they're not sharp. Make sure they meet up with the rounded portion of the punched hole here a little bit better. And I'll give all these corners just a little bit of a rounded edge so that there's nothing sharp to worry about. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned up and then we'll take a look at it. Okay, so this is the water bottle pot stand that we just made. You can see it's nice and strong. Decent little pot stand. Simple, cheap, effective. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.